The National Assembly has kicked off debate on the report of a committee set up to review Nigeria's constitution. The Joint Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives submitted its report last week with a number of proposals. The report hasn't been made public, but issues that have generated debate about the constitution in recent times include fiscal and regional federalism, local government autonomy, and state policing. Our National Assembly correspondent Sumner Sambo joins us now from Abuja. Hello, Sumner. Hello, Sumner. So what can you tell us apart from some of the points that I just read out? Fiscal, regional federalism, local government autonomy, and of course state policing. To what extent do we expect this constitutional review to actually take place?
Well, the situation report right now is that the House of Representatives has stepped down its consideration of the Constitution Review Committee's report till tomorrow and Thursday. So it's only left for the Senate right now to start the process today. And the House of Representatives is also scheduled to test its e-voting system, which is supposed to use for this procedure tomorrow, because if you go by the tradition here, every federal lawmaker in the House of Representatives and in the Senate is expected to cast a vote on each of the items that are to be presented. And there are about 27 bills, to be precise, that are to be considered on several national issues. As for the Senate, I'm here with the Senate order paper for today. On the order paper, under consideration of report, we have it as the last item there, item number 3, report of the Committee on Constitution Review. Senator Ike Ekweremadu, Enugu West, is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitution Review, and he is to present that, and that the Senate do consider the report of the Committee on Constitution Review on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Alteration Bill 2017, and then e-voting is clearly written there, meaning that the electronic voting system is to be used to consider some of the issues. Now, like you said, some of the critical issues that are meant for debate are, number one, on the age that it takes for a Nigerian to contest for the position of the president. Also, there is a recommendation that 35% of the federal cabinet positions should go to women. And then we also have the issue of the local government and state government dichotomy, where they've been having this problem of maintaining a joint account. Now, the National Assembly says it's going to put a stop to that. The Constitutional Review Committees of both houses are recommending that the local government should get the allocation directly rather than going through the local government. And also, we have the exclusive legislative list, where several issues are there. And the National Assembly is saying that it's going to canvass for the devolution of some powers to the state assemblies to be able to, make laws on. That's talking about issues of electricity, issues of railways, and so on. So it's going to be an exciting time, actually, when this process begins.
Of course, we do look forward to that. I want to get, how much feelers are you getting, Sumner, from the lawmakers themselves in terms of to what extent are they on the same page as it concerns some of these issues that Nigerians are expecting that they tackle as quickly as possible in the Constitution?
Well, this is actually the document that is being reviewed, and I'd like to inform our viewers that this Constitution has been reviewed for 3 times in 2010, and this exercise is going to be the fourth alteration. It's going to be the 4th alteration by the National Assembly, and under this 4th alteration, we expect senators to actually queue behind some of the recommendations made by the Constitution Review Committee of the Senate, just like the House of Representatives members are also supposed to queue behind some of the recommendations by the House Committee on Constitution Review. Now, each federal lawmaker is expected to vote on any of the items listed for debate. For example, some of the things that we have here are on the issue of exclusive lists. We have so many issues on the exclusive list that have to do with federal powers, but which the National Assembly is feeling should go to the state. For example, they are saying that national parks, pensions, gratuities, posts, telegraphs, telephones and stamp duties, environmental issues, mining and energy exploitation, energy extraction, transportation and processing. All of these are the issues that have got legislators talking. They are saying that, yes, indeed, they support the devolution of these powers as a subtle way of restructuring the country, because they feel that the federal government is top-heavy, and they even feel that it will make the National Assembly to be a little bit, for their weight to be reduced, because they feel that Nigeria is ripe for states and local government to be able to have some of these powers. So it's an exciting time. It's an interesting time. Don't forget also that the major issue that has stirred the hornet's nest between younger generations and older politicians is the age of being a president. Now, the committees are recommending 35 years for you to contest for the position of president rather than 40 years. And for you to be a federal lawmaker, that should be about 25. So these are exciting times, and we all hope to see how these lawmakers will vote on these issues.
Of course, Nigerians would want to know exactly how long this debate is expected to last. Are we likely to see any results way before the 2019 elections come around?
Yes. If you go by the previous exercises, like it happened in the 7th Assembly, it's going to be a time of tension. This process has not started, but I can tell you that the North-South divide issue is still going to come up, because federal lawmakers from the North and the South will bicker on some of the issues that are very, very critical. For example, when it comes to the issues of local government, the Southern senators are saying that, for example, Lagos State was created almost the same time with Kano State. Why has Kano State had Jigawa State created out of it, with other local governments given to Jigawa State, and Kano having about 44 local governments, but a state like Lagos still has 20 local governments, until the time that, there was this bickering that led to the creation of LCDAs by the Lagos State government, which insisted that, as far as it is concerned, it should have had more local governments presented to it. Now, there are also other issues. Should the revenues of this country be divided to the component parts based on local governments, based on population, based on land mass? Well, these are the issues that, of course, are going to bring this North-South tension and all of that. But we are hoping that the maturity of the leadership of the Senate and the House of Representatives will help to douse tension and ensure that the appropriate rules of both chambers are followed. And of course, that's why e-voting is being employed, because there won't be room for, accusations and counter-accusations.
Of course, we know that the National Assembly represents the people, but are they making room for input from other Nigerians from all walks of life to actually contribute to this debate?
Now, if you follow the rules for constitutional amendment in the National Assembly, which is one of the cardinal rules, apart from the appropriation bill, which is usually done every year, the constitution exercise is a very, very strict procedure, just like the appropriation bill. Now, in this exercise, by the submission of this report by the Senate Committee on Constitution Review and the House Committee on Constitution Review, it means that they've filtered the feelings of Nigerians. So at this point in time, there is no room for public hearing again, because it means that whatever is being presented in both chambers is the collation of the views of Nigerians. And if you have been following the news trend, you understand that the Senate Review on Constitution, the Senate Constitution Review recently held its retreat in Lagos, just like that of the House of Representatives. It means that they must have collated all the feelings of Nigerians. And don't forget, they did not hold public hearings this time around, because in the last assembly, there were public hearings held at both zonal and state levels. And so when this 8th assembly resumed, they said that they were not going to revisit those public hearings, but they were just going to dust those reports. So it is the dusting of the report that has led to this collation, and as a result of that, they will be presenting their report, upon which it will be debated, and upon which votings will be taking place. And then when these votings are done, and then the exercise is completed at the National Assembly, then it will now be sent to state assemblies, where for each item that is debated at each state House of Assembly, 24 state houses of assembly are required for each item to scale through. So when all of these have 24 state houses of assembly agreeing on each item, then it will be brought back, upon which both houses will agree on the final resolution, and then it is sent to the executive, where the executive will now decide either to sign it into law or object. But if it objects, both houses of the parliament can still meet together and override the powers of the executive. And after that is done, it means automatically whatever is agreed upon becomes the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, fourth alteration.
All right, Sumner, you did mention something about the North-South agitations, and I'm wondering, the agitations all across the country, whether North, South, East, West, is it going to be seriously looked into during this debate? Are you hearing that?
No, some of these issues actually are issues that have been debated upon, that have been considered before the debate on restructuring started. So this is going to be a mileage for constitutional reforms in the country, considering that some of the issues that have been asked for restructuring are issues that the National Assembly has considered before now. So it may not totally capture all the requests for restructuring, but the thing is that some of the issues that are appearing here are things that the National Assembly believes the country needs at this point in time. As for other issues that are being called upon for restructuring, if you listen to, for example, to the former president, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, he has said that the federal government needs not to seek constitutional backing for some of the items that Nigerians are canvassing for. For example, federal roads, that they do not need to come to the National Assembly or to seek an amendment of the Constitution before that can be done. So some items are to be restructured by the executive at the federal cabinet level, while some deserve constitutional amendment. So for some of these issues that are going to be brought up here, 27 items to be precise, those are the issues that the National Assembly in its wisdom think Nigerians deserve to reform at this point in time, hence the presentation. And if you permit me, I would like to go through some of them. Like, for example, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. They are saying that the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation should be separated from the Minister of Justice. The Minister of Justice should be a political position, while the AGF should be a statutory position that, covers the whole country. Then there's also the issue of the Council of State. The Council of State, they feel, should include past ministers, it should include past Senate presidents and past speakers of the House of Representatives. Also, they think that election disputes should be resolved on time. And then also that Mr. President should also be delivering a State of the Nation address every year. That's in May, in the month of May precisely. So these are some of the issues that they feel deserve amendment, in addition to so many that I have not mentioned. So it's an exciting time, and we all hope to see how each federal lawmaker will exercise its constitutional responsibility by voting for or against the 27 recommendations.
All right, time will, of course, tell us if the lawmakers will be on the wrong side or the right side of history. Sumner Sambo at the National Assembly there, talking to us, of course, about the debate on the Constitution review that's meant to start today, but that's been pushed forward to tomorrow.